Welcome to V Guide TV. In this video, I'm giving a short tricks for the chapter Work, Energy and Power. So I'm giving the shortcut formulas in work, energy and power. So first I'll discuss for work. Work is nothing but force into displacement. This is the simple formula for work. But for the numericals and all, you remember work is a scalar quantity, force is a vector quantity, displacement also a vector quantity. So we can write the work as F dot S. W equals F dot S because the product of two vector quantities coming as a scalar quantity, you can write W equals F dot S. If theta equals 0 degree, work will be positive. If theta equals 90 degree, work will be 0. If theta equals 180 degree, work will come as negative because what is cos 180? Cos 180 is minus 1. What is cos 90? Cos 90 is 0. That's what this is 0. What is cos 0? It's 1. You remember this value. Okay, so these type of questions they can ask. Sometimes they will ask very simple questions of the dot product. So you remember what is I dot I equals j dot j equals k dot k is equal to 1. But what about I dot j? 0. J dot k equals 0. K dot I also 0. So they can ask the questions like this also. Okay, they will give in the vector form also. So remember W equals F dot S and its SI unit is joule. So 1 joule we can write it as 1 kg meter square second minus 2. This also remember. Joule is also called kg meter square second minus 2. 1 joule I can write in form of CGS 10 power 7 ergs. So it means 1 kg meter square second minus 2 is equal to 10 power 7 gram centimeter square second minus 2. Now, I am giving the very important points of work. First one, the work is independent of the time of action of force. We will see only the displacement. We are not considered about how much time it has taken. So it is independent of time of action of force. Then when a body completes a circular path, means like this, a body is moving like this. When a body moves in a circular path, the work done by the driving force on completion is 0. The work done will be 0 because initial point and final points are coming same. So the work done will be 0 because in this case one rotation means what happened for the displacement? It will be 0. So the work done will be 0. Third case, work done by the centripetal force and centrifugal force when a body moves in a circular path at an instant is 0. So similar case for a centripetal and centrifugal force also. Because in centripetal and centrifugal force, when you consider it is directed towards the center or away from the center. So if I am considering like this, sometimes the force will be like this for a centripetal force. If you take for a centrifugal force, it is the outward normal. But if you take the displacement, it will be perpendicular. So angle between them is 90. So the work done will be 0. Another important case. A body of mass m connected with a string and is lifted down with an acceleration g by 3. Then they are given total 2 cases here. The work done on the block, what are the 2 cases? I'm just putting it like that. What are the 2 cases? The work done by string on the block. Here they gave acceleration is g by 3 and it is going down. When the body is coming down with an acceleration, we know equation for acceleration is g minus a. So it will be m into g minus a into h. That is m into g minus g by 3. That is 2 by 3 of mgh. I just solve. If they ask something else, you can solve according to that. So this question is a body of mass m and it is connected with a string and it is coming down with an acceleration. So what is the resultant acceleration? G minus a. The same question if they are asking the body moves up you know that it will come as G plus A. Clear? Then why I put minus? Because this is work done by the string on the block and this is work done by the block. We know that action and reactions are equal and opposite. So that's what here there is no minus. So 2 by 3 mgh. Clear? So we need to case here the work done by the string on the block that is directed away from the gravity. That's what minus sign I kept. So work done by the block means it is towards gravity. It is 2 by 3 mgh. Clear? So when a body with the help of a string coming down with an acceleration, m into g minus a into h. M into g minus a is the force and h is the displacement. Why I put minus? It is against gravity. And down one, why there is no minus? Because these two are equal and opposite. Now another case. A rope of length L, mass m, is suspended vertically from a rigid support. The work done in bringing the rope to the point of suspension. So see here, there is a rope, it is like this. We need to take it up. Okay, we need to take suspended vertically from a rigid support. Work done in bringing this part to up. So here you remember, linear shape body always we are taking with respect to center of mass. So actually the work done equation when you are taking mgh, this h we can take it as mg into L by 2 because the gravity is situated, center of gravity we are checking with respect to the center. So we need up to this point the length. So it is L by 2. So your answer is mg into L by 2. L by 2 why we are taking? As it is a linear body. Another one. The work done to lift a bucket of water of mass m by means of a rope. We have a bucket. Okay. We are taking this bucket with the help of this rope. And they are taking lift the bucket going against gravity. Right. So here I can take it as W is equal to mg into, they are given the length as L. So how much it should go? L. So when you are taking two cases will be there. First we have to take the bucket. Okay. When you are taking the bucket, we have to see here what is the distance from the center of the bucket or to this total. So that is mgl. But when you are taking the rope, just now I told we are taking the rope means it is nothing but you can take it like this linear rope also, no problem. This is the rope. Okay. So in this rope, so this rope and here there is a bucket. Okay. I'm just drawing bucket like this means when you take the bucket, you can take here, this will be the distance. But when you take the rope, we know that the rope mass is situated at the center. So we are taking here mgl, that for bucket, mg into L by 2, that is for the rope, because they gave the mass of the bucket as capital M and the mass of the rope as small m. Right? That's what one is capital M, other one is small m. This is a very important question I have seen in many exams. The work done in bringing the hanging part back on the table. It means, see, this is the case. We have a chain lying like this. Okay. L by N part is hanging. We need to lift it back. So what will be the work done? mgl by 2n square. mgl by 2n square. How 2n square came means here 2 is coming because of our L by 2 concept. But how much mass is hanging here, that will be coming as m by n. G into L by 2 into L. So that is the reason we are getting here mgl by 2n square. Mass, we have to take the mass of this part. We have to take the center of mass of this part, that is L by 2n, and gravity. What is the work done to pull it to up? It means that after pulling it up, the total part of the chain is lying on the table only, not on the hanging part. So in those cases, it will be mgl by 2n square. Work done in bringing the hanging part of a uniform chain, which is 1 by nth of the total length L. Now, the same that question itself, sometimes they will ask, A uniform chain of length L placed over a table such that nth part is hanging, the instantaneous velocity when it leaves the table. Just now what I got, that is your potential energy. So see, we need to find out what is the velocity when it comes down. So velocity means you can take the formula change in kinetic energy that should be equal to change in potential energy. So change in kinetic energy, I can write half mv square. Initially it's not moving, so that velocity is 0. So half mv square. We are equating half mv square with the term mg into this term. mg into, we will take it as n square and all, 1 minus n square by L. I have written here change in potential energy is mgl by 2 minus mgl by 2n square. I hope you understood how I am getting this. Potential energy, it is nothing but mgl by 2 minus mgl by 2n square. Right? So mgl by 2 and mgln by 2n square. We are subtracting this. And this we are equating with half mv square. I'll get this formula for velocity. The velocity when the chain is slip off, that is gl root over gl n square minus 1 by n square. Very important question. Then another question. This is for the uniform chain placed on a table such that n part is hanging. When it is completely going, what will happen? Okay. If you want, you just draw it, the diagram. First it was like this. Later means it gone. It gone means we are taking this case. It is just hanging from the edge. So I need the velocity there. This part I did it in the previous question. It will be mgl by 2n square. And this part we know it is mgl by 2. Now, next one is the amount of work done in displacing a body of mass m to a height h in a liquid of density sigma and the density of the body is rho. So what is the work required to displace a body of mass m to a little height? So it means that here also the work done is mgh only. But when it is in a liquid, you have to remember there will be the force of buoyancy will be there. Force of buoyancy. Because of the buoyancy, there will be an up thrust will be there. So the weight of the body what we are experiencing is mg minus, this is weight mg minus, we will write it as, it will be the buoyant force. Buoyant force will be V sigma g. Buoyant force is V sigma g. This mass is rho Vg. Rho Vg minus V sigma g means you will get this answer. You will take mg as common and we get the term mg into 1 minus sigma by rho, where sigma, remember, density of the liquid, and rho means density of the body. I hope you got clear. See, the body will be there on, this is a body, the body of the mass of the body will be there. And we need to lift or displace to a height of how much we need to move. We have to move it to a height of h. So you remember the body has two types of weight. One is the downward force, other one is upward force. Downward is due to weight, that is mg. Upward is due to buoyant force, that is V sigma g. V sigma g. After that we are taking that as common. Rho Vg you are taking common from the term, but here there is no rho, so denominator the rho term is coming. So if it is easy to remember like this, it's very good. Mg into 1 minus sigma by rho into h is the equation. This is another interesting question. A cylinder of mass m, length L, radius r is placed on a horizontal surface. It was like this. We are just taking this cylinder in this position. What is the work required? So we need to find a change in potential energy. I already told you potential energy for linear body we have to take with respect to center. So what is this potential energy? It is nothing but potential energy in this case is mgr. But this case means the potential energy in this case is mg into L by 2. Take the difference, that's all. So answer is mg L by 2 minus mgr. Another case. When two identical vessels, each of area A, filled with the same liquid of density rho, and a height of liquid in the first vessel is H1, second vessel is H2, what is the amount of work required to equalize here? So actually these all concepts from the fluids only. We have two identical vessels and it has two, what we need, the both having the liquids, same liquid, so same density only, but only one thing, heights is different. So here actually in this type of concepts we are using here mgh only, but we should remember mass we can write density into volume, density we can write area into distance, distance is nothing but height. So this only they have written it as, if you need the potential energy, we know that mgh, right? So m itself I can write rho a h g into h, means I will get an equation rho a h square g. So you don't get confused from where I am getting this. Okay. And remember this type of questions, h will come as h by 2. Why h by 2? H by 2 because the thing is we are taken here for a vessel. So we are taking height with respect to the center. So here one h by 2 will come. So h by 2 square. H by 2 square will come as h square by 4. That's what we got a formula, a rho g by 4 into h1 minus h2 the whole square. Many people get the confusion from where I got 4. 4 is nothing but we are taken the length as h by 2. What I told, this type of density question, mass you write density into volume. Volume we will write it as area into height, and then potential energy is mgh. Mass is density into a into h into g into h by 2. Here also h by 2 will come. So it will be h square by 4. We will get it as h square by 4 and we get the formula a rho g by 4 into h1 minus h2 the whole square. So like this many questions they can ask for the work done. Okay, so we understood the work done should be equal to potential energy. The work done should be equal to potential energy. Now if you take the next case, next I'm talking about spring. Okay, another main concept of this chapter is spring. A spring, if you take, this is like a spring. Spring of constant k is stretched to an elongation of x, then what will be the restoring force? F equal to minus kx. When, if we want to stretch, we have to do some work. That means the work done is nothing but integral of f dx. Remember the formula, work done is equal to integral of f dx. So you get a formula for energy, that work is stored as potential energy in the spring, and it is half kx square. Half kx square. If you substitute the value of k as f by x, I can even write half fx. Even you can write it as, if you substitute for the x, we can write f square by 2k. I've seen in exams this full page is very important. They can write f equal to minus kx, energy is equal to half kx square, half fx, f square by 2k. But there is a twisted case here. Sometimes in question they'll give, when two springs of constant k1 and k2 are stretched such that their elongations are same. Elongations are same means what is the meaning? x1 and x2 are same. If x1 and x2 are same, we can write the energy stored as x1 and x2 get cancelled. I can write the equation u1 by u2 is equal to k1 by k2. x1 equal to x2 means I can write the formula u1 by u2 is equal to k1 by k2. Numericals very important. But the same question, instead of elongation same, if they are giving force as same, if they are giving what are same, force as same, you have to use the last relation only. What you should write? U is equal to f square by 2k. So in this equation, f is constant, same they told. So according to this equation, u is inversely proportional to k. So you should not keep it in the mind like u is always directly proportional to k or inversely proportional to k. Depends on the condition. So if elongation is same, u is proportional to k. But if the force is same, u is inversely proportional to k. These are about the spring. What is the force? Minus kx. What's the energy? Half kx square or half fx or f square by 2k. And if the elongation is same, u1 by u2 proportional to k1 by k2. If this force is same, u1 by u2 is equal to k2 by k1. And what I told this one, this is another important relation of this chapter. I did not write it separately. You can remember the work done is equal to integral of f dx for a variable force. In few questions they will give like this. So we need to integrate it. W is equal to integral of f dx. Now same spring and another case I am giving. This is a case. A spring of constant k is stretched to have an elongation of x. The work done in stretch it to further to y. So actually this question how we will do is, you will do with the two equation. First one is x now. So it is half kx square is your first case, half kx square. Second case is it is further elongated to y. So it is half k into x plus y the whole square. We need to subtract of these two. You will get an answer half ky into y plus 2x. Okay, remember, if you can't remember the formula, do it in this form. Initial energy half kx square, final energy is half k into x plus y the whole square. Clear? Another, kinetic energy and the momentum relation, another important formula, k equal p square by 2m. Here also, you see I can write k is proportional to p square or p inversely proportional to k. I've seen many questions with the momentum increases by 10%. What happened for the kinetic energy? Or momentum increases by 20 or momentum increases by 30. So those type of questions, if you can remember, you remember like this. 10% means it become 21, 20 means 44, 30 means 69, 40 means 96, 50 means 125, like that it goes. Now I'm telling the shortcut to remember. This is the formula. Delta k is equal to k2 delta k percentage. What is the change in kinetic energy percentage is k2 minus k1 by k1 into 100. What are k2 and k1? That is proportional to, k is proportional to p square. K is proportional to p square. So they will give p, no? So from that p you find k1 and k2. K1 is proportional to p1 square, k2 is proportional to p2 square. Then you take this formula k2 minus k1 by k1 into 100. You will get the answer. So you can do one thing, one question you do it like this. So you will get an idea. So it's a very, very important question. Momentum change they will give and they will ask kinetic energy what happens. So what I did is, what is the increase in the percentage of kinetic energy? So I can take it as, if the momentum increases by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% means its corresponding kinetic energy increases by 21%, 44%, 69% and so on. Or use the formula delta k is k2 minus k1 by k1 into 100, or delta p, reverse also they can ask. So p2 minus p1 by p1 into 100. So that time you take it here, what will be momentum relation? If you are using momentum relation, p is directly proportional to root over k. So find out p1, p2. Then substitute in this formula. Clear? So this question also important. Relation with the kinetic energy and momentum. Next in this chapter, another topic called collision. Collision is nothing but the interaction of two or more bodies. So there are two types of collisions, elastic collision, inelastic collision. Elastic collision means momentum, kinetic energy and total energy are conserved. Inelastic collision means momentum and total energy are conserved but kinetic energy is not conserved. So here collision case means when two bodies are colliding and the two bodies are moving with some other velocity, we will find a term called coefficient of restitution. Coefficient of restitution I can write relative velocity of separation by relative velocity of approach. How we can find coefficient of restitution? Relative velocity of separation by relative velocity of approach. Or you can write it as v2 minus v1 by u1 minus u2. v2 and v1 are the final velocities and u1 and u2 are the initial velocities. If E value equal to 1, they are called perfectly elastic collision, and if E value equal to 0, it is perfectly inelastic collisions. Now, if you see the next case, we are given another case like if a body falls freely from a height of h naught and rebounds to a height of h, it means like this, the body coming down to the ground, going up, coming down, going up, coming down. This is called the rebounding case. This is h naught, this is h1. If h1 going up, definitely h1 will come down. Again, it will go to another height called h2. Then definitely h2 should come down. So we can find E by root over h1 by h naught. But if there are successive rebounds like h2, h3, h4, I can write E equal root over h1 by h naught, or root over h2 by h1, or root over h3 by h2. Like that it will continue. If you take h1 from this formula, it is E square h naught. If you take h2 from this formula, it is E square h1. Okay, so if you substitute that, I can find for the nth rebound, the height gone is hn is e to the power of 2n of h naught. E to the power of 2n by hn. The height after the nth rebound is e to the power of 2n h naught. Same way in velocity we can calculate. Velocity after nth rebound is e power n v naught. E power n v naught, you can write it as e power n root over 2g h naught. Sometimes they'll ask the time with this. Okay, time means I can write after nth rebound Tn equals e power n t naught, or e power n into time we can write root over 2h by g. So this they can ask. Okay, very very important. Now next, sometimes they'll ask the elapsed time. Elapsed time means, see for the second example, the body is coming down, going up and coming here, right? So I told you this is T naught, this is T1, this is T2, means what is the time taken? T naught plus T1 and T1, because both the times are same, 2T1. So you can find the equation as time elapsed for the second rebound is root over 2h naught by g into 1 plus 2e. Root over 2h naught by g into 1 plus 2e. Sometimes they'll ask if a body is falling from a height of h, then the vertical distance covered before coming to rest, like this, going, after that it will stop. So what is the vertical distance? H naught into 1 plus e square by 1 minus e square. They may ask what's the time for it comes to rest? T naught into 1 plus e by 1 minus c. These type of questions they ask for the exams. So same question they can ask, what is the average speed of the body for the entire journey? Root over g h naught by 2 into 1 plus e square by 1 minus e the whole square. You can do these all. Okay, as I'm doing like a shortcuts, I'm not giving the derivations of this. Okay, if you just continue the same process, we get this all. V average is root over g h naught by 2 into 1 plus e square divided by 1 plus e the whole square. They can ask what is the change in momentum. The change in momentum is mv naught into 1 plus e by 1 minus c. mv naught is nothing but the initial momentum into 1 plus e by 1 minus e. Now I am going for the case in which I already told you in inelastic collision there will not be any law of conservation of energy. So definitely there will be some loss in energy. So the loss in energy you can find by half m1 m2 by m1 plus m2 into u1 minus u2 the whole square into 1 minus e the whole square. You can take the case if e is equal to 1, the entire term will be 0. It means that delta k equal to 0 for which collision? Elastic. But in inelastic collision we know that E value equal to 0 for which collision? Inelastic. So according to that you will get the term. Okay. Now I am telling an equation for this one. What are the velocities of the collision? The velocities of the collisions we can write it as V1 is equal to m1 minus m2. m1 minus em2 by m1 plus m2 into u1 plus 1 plus e into m2 by m1 plus m2 into u2. Mostly for the board exam, we may not study with E. Now I am giving with E, but because they may ask questions with E. So here if E equal to 1, you will get the simple formula. So remember M1 minus M2. M1 minus E M2 by M1 plus M2 into U1 plus 1 plus E M2 by M1 plus M2 into U2. If you see this equation, they are just reversing. Okay, you can remember like a shortcut. This term only coming here, but it will be M1. This term only is coming here, but they are just reversing M2 minus EM1 into U2. All the terms denominators are same. You have to remember in the shortcut form. I told how I will remember. One equation you remember and the next equation is same thing only, but you are exchanging the terms. When you are exchanging the term, remember M2 become M1. Here also M2 become M1. That's all. Okay, M1 and M2 getting exchanged like that, you remember. These are the equation for velocity after collision. For example, these are the two bodies moving with velocity U1 and U2. These are the bodies M1 and M2. They are colliding after collision. What are the velocities of M1? It's coming as V1, M2 coming as V2. If they are asking, you can use the formula. Now I am reaching for the last part of this, that is vertical circle. For example, you take a string connector with the help of a mass and just do a vertical motion like this. So when the ball is at this point, that is called the lowest point, we call by the name lowest point. When it goes here, we call it as a highest point. When it comes to A, it is horizontal. So this point I marked at any point at makes an angle of theta with vertical. So the weight of the body will be mg, tension will be T. If you just resolve, you can see that mg resolve it into two components. Mg cos theta is opposite to your T. So you can write an equation T minus mg cos theta makes the body to move in a circular path. So T minus mg cos theta is equal to mv square by r. Or you can write here TL for the lowest point, you can write TL minus mg equal mvl square by r for lowest point. But for the highest point, if you see the tension and mg, they both are point in the same direction. Mg and these two are pointing in the same direction. So TH plus mg equals mvh square by r. If you substitute this, you remember this formula. The lowest point velocity is root 5 gr, highest point will be root gr, and horizontal point is root 3 gr. If you calculate the tension at these points, tension at the lowest point is 6 mg, tension at the highest point is 0, tension at the horizontal point is coming as 3 mg. Right? So by comparing this, I made a formula like this. You can take here, for this case, the tension at the highest point is, if you are taking velocity as root over x gr, x minus 1 mg, 1 minus 1 is coming 0. But if you are taking the lowest point, it is x plus g. So it is 1 plus g. It will be 6 mg. It is 1 plus 4. It will be 5 gr, root 5 gr, root 5 gr. Tension at A means we can write here, I should get here 3 mg and 6 mg, 3 mg, and here we will get root over 3 gr. In this form we can write it. This is the general formula. Sometimes they will give some velocity at some point, means you can find in this method. Or at any point velocity or any point tension means you can do it like this. V equal root over gr into 3 plus 2 cos theta. And tension is 3 mg into 1 plus cos theta. You just check it here. Lowest point theta 0. So it will be 5. Here theta 0. So it will be 1. It will be 6. So in that form you can do it. If it is at the top point, we know that cos theta, cos 180 is minus 1. So 1 it will come as minus. So 3 minus 2, it will be 1. Here means 1 minus 1 will come, so it will be 0. So you will get the same relation. So this equation, if you know, you can find for the any point velocity and tension. So I'll repeat, root over gr into 3 plus 2 cos theta for velocity, and t equals 3 mg into 1 plus cos theta for the tension at any point. I hope you like this video. If you need more videos, subscribe our channel V Guide TV. Thank you.